Hello, queens and kings. Welcome to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. Today is the final day, and this is the day that we do the tassels below our belt. Let's get started. It's a beautiful day. It's a day to make tassels. Let's get started. So this is my needle and my upholstery thread. I decided on a single knot, a single strength, whereby I only made a knot at the end of one strength. I did not join two strengths together. So I'm going to start here since this is where I started with my belt. I continued a bit, just a bit, and made another second diamond. So the first thing that I'd like you to observe is this. We're going to make our tassels moving down. So looking at our belt here, it always has two beads and a gap, two beads and a gap, two beads and a gap, and so on and so forth. But now we're firstly gonna start on this dip here. How are we gonna do it? We're gonna grab one bead of the same color and make it a stopper bead. Take our needle and put inside that one bead and just put it on the side. Then I take my needle, I insert into the opposite direction like this, and then I pull, creating a loop around this one bead. And I have something like this. And then so this is how the belt is, ne? So I'm going to turn it a bit like this, focusing on the dip here on the side. So you're going to insert your needle into this one bead and you pull. So you have to you strategically placing the bead here so that it won't look like it's joined into the belt. It has to look like it's part of the belt. And then you keep moving to the next bead that is in front of the bead that you inserted into this bead. It's gonna be a bit. My needle is very thick. And then you insert your needle here on this one, and then you pull. Let me pause and I'll come back. Finally, I made it after fighting. And then the needle that I'm using is quite thick. But when I practiced earlier on, it didn't give me a problem. So you have a situation like this. And then you'll make a knot in between these two beads just to secure. Remember, the tassels that you're going to make are going to be a bit heavy for your belt. So you're just securing as much as you want to secure. So I'm just going to make two knots and then I move. Gonna move into this bead. Now we're here. We're at the bead that is exactly on the corner. I'm gonna make two knots again just to secure. Securing is the game. It's very important to secure so that the tassels won't be as heavy on the belts. Yeah. So then I'm going to move on to my first two beads, which are these two. So I'm going to insert my needle into those two beads but I'm going to do it individually. Pull on bead number 1 and insert again on bead number 2 and pull. I'm back. I decided to change my needle. This was the old one. It's quite thick, so I'm back with a new one. So insert into that one bead that was giving me the toughest of times. Wait, I'm still struggling. I'll be back. Finally, we made it through. Okay. So now this is where you're going to pick up your beads. Whatever pattern you like your beads in, this is where you can get really, really creative. And whatever length you decide on, it's all up to you. So I'm just going to come back and show you the colors and the pattern and the number of beads and the length I've decided on. So this is the pattern I decided on. I have 6 dark green, 5 red, 5 white, 3 navy blue, 5 white again, and 5 orange and 5 light green. It's about 7.3 centimeters, the length, and it's 34 beads in total. So now we have to turn back. So this, you can be as creative as you are, as you want to be. And then you're going to pick up 4 beads, 4 separate beads, no? And then from these 4 beads, you're going to take 1 bead and push it back and join it with the rest of the beads. And then this 3, you can leave the 3 beads hanging. You can separate the 2 groups by using your thumb because it can get confusing. Then you insert your bead on that 1 bead that you pushed back, and then you pull to make a nice flower pattern like this. So as you pull, the shape of your flower pattern will form nicely. And then you take your needle, you insert, you go back now, you insert it into the remaining beads that you picked out, because now the aim is to come back here to the belt. You're now moving in a reverse direction. In terms of how many beads that you insert your needle at the time, it all will depend on you. But please be careful because you can easily get knots. And then you go back again. Set your needle. And then you pull. The aim is just to go back to the main event where you were at the beginning. And then insert your needle on that last bead from the 6 dark green beads. There you go. Now you're going to insert your needle into the next 2 beads. Let me put it like this. Insert your needle into the next 2 beads. Remember, we did talk about that you have 2 beads and a gap, 2 beads and a gap. So this, your needle going to insert it into those 2 beads like this. Yeah. And then you back into the gap. When you get to the gap, that's where you're going to start picking out the beads that are in your tassels. And here are our beads. We're going to do the same process. I picked up my 4 beads. I'm going to take the one bead and push it down to the end, and then your other three will just be loose. Insert your needle into this one bead and then you pull. And then you pull, and then you go back to the main belt by inserting your needle into that direction, and then you pull. Do it again. Remember, the amount of beads that you take at a time, the amount of beads that you insert your needle in at a time, it all depends on you. But also be careful to avoid knots. Be careful to avoid knots. Just gonna do the same thing. And back on the last bead from the 6 dark green beads. Then you do the same thing. You take your needle, you insert your needle into the 2 beads. Take your needle, insert into the next 2 beads. I almost say, don't know, the needle has started again. At this point, I don't know whether it's the needle or the beads. And then you do the same process over and over again until you're done. So remember, you insert your needle into the 2 beads, and then from the open space, that's where you're going to make your tassel, and then you go back into the other 2 beads, open space, make your tassel, insert your needle into the other 2 beads, and then open space, insert your tassel. You're going to do that over and over again until you finish. Thank you so much, Queens and Kings, for watching. It's the final day. I really enjoyed taking this journey with you. See you on the next series. I'm really finding it hard to summarize the videos into one and make it one video, because I feel like I always feel like I have to thorough explain and, drill it. So I'm sorry. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being patient and waiting for us to come to the end. I love you guys so, so much. Remember to treat yourself with respect. Okay? Be kind to yourselves and love yourself so much. See you on the next series. It's going to be fun. It's going to be amazing. Bye.